Have you heard the buzzwords? I hired a VA, a virtual assistant. Today, I want to share something with you that I think a lot of agents needed to hear. Because I've been having a lot of conversations lately of people telling me I hired a VA and this a part of it. The problem is there's nothing in place for them, and I think some people will rise to the occasion and put systems in it because now they have somebody who would be trained and told, to pay for, which is kind of serious. But I think a lot of people also don't want a VA. So if you're like the money in your bank account, if you like to be aiding on the operations side, then this one here today is going to be your jam. Now we are focused on rental listing. So right there in the middle, you do see CMA as the starting point before we even get to the outside with expansion and delegation. So first things first is working in your business part, right? Most of us agents do that part. If we don't, hopefully we have budget to pay people. But working in our business, that is our immediate business. What is our essential today? Now this week, right? Having pre-listing package, making sure our pre-listing presentation dialed in, going on listing appointment, having buyer consultations, showing buyers properties, right? Taking care of emails, taking care of showing, taking care of open houses, taking care of every single aspect of working in your business after day to day. We view as real agents, now working in your business is an important part. Working in your business is also something that I think a lot of people recommend we do in the afternoon because the most productive hours should be spent working on your business. Well, that is then the second layer of spiderweb. Working on our business is making sure that there's a buyer follow-up profit in place. It's beatable. Think about McDonald's and burger comes out regardless of the what's on the channel in Germany, right? It is the same type of system that guarantees the same results. Now tell us, follow up, thinking that for sellers, what is the process you want sellers to go to? Well, then there's also the tech stack that is part of it as well. If you are in your advertising and spending money on ads, that's something you want to work on. Additional often, how else can we put the lease right as part of the business? Growing our email list, hosting events or marketing, the cornerstone built into account for that. All of this is what we do for working in our business and working on our business. Now, why is delegation and expansions coming down the line? If you, for a simple fact, that if you don't have the system in place for this, how will you expect them to continually? If you expect somebody to take over your social media and you have no plans or want to follow, you're literally just jumping in on things and say, go figure it out. Now, this might work informing people. At the end of the day, you become somebody else's manager, somebody else's boss. And the cool thing is, if you have a personal place, right? So I'll give you an example. I use GEO Central as my CRM too. And we have a system in place that is also posting every single day about our listing. So we do not have to figure out what to talk about. We want to promote our active listing first. Templates that we have in place and templates that we customize is our approved templates from my brand, the way I want my brand to look at and needs to get filled in for active first, under contact second, sold once next. So I have this system that I can, somebody to take over for me and free up my plate. Now, without a system in place, you have to create a system, and some feels like when they create a system, while they have also hired somebody, you feel like you giving your job to somebody else, but in reality, you're just doing the work that you should have in place already. Now, obviously, it will free up your time after the initial slowdown period in general. Then you have to have your seller follow up, right? If you do not have a written outline of your seller follow up. For example, how do you expect somebody to execute what your seller follow up will looks like, right? Going back to McDonald's, how do you expect somebody to make sure they follow a process if they have no written down process? and and then you can automate it, you can develop what it is, and then you configure it, you can schedule it, you can set milestone to certain things using CRM. You see, you do not need a person that will come late, may have connection issues, may not understand, may not work with all of these variables that you just put on yourself are avoidable. They really are. So it's either you're going to diminish your profits, or you have to work a whole lot harder to make sure that your profitability sustain itself. And I understand I don't want to do it at all, I really do, because it's hard. It's hard to be solo agent and it's hard to do all the things. But you do have to lay the groundwork. You have to start putting systems in place, and half of these things you can make your own place in one model, and then when you're ready for expansion, then you do hire people. So later on, I do things exactly. And you can have a system. We automate our listing. We automate our home anniversary. It still feels like me, but the systems span it in 365 days. They don't take a day off, maybe not ask for a raise. They do not call in sick. It's great, it's +3. And I say, if I have to grow in the other way, I wouldn't, because it's by far the easiest way to start growing this new systems first and new people. So don't fall in the trap of somebody say, I hired a VA, because you can do so much if you just focus on the right. And I hope this was helpful. And as usual, if you have questions, you can email us at support@thelocalagent.com. And I'll see you in the next episode.